Namaskar, Indian Tourism Policy Luxury Trains. Welcome to this episode on Indian Tourism Policy and Luxury Trains. A tourism policy is a set of guidelines, a practical framework within which tourism development is undertaken through collective and individual decisions. A tourism policy broadly explains the procedures, stipulations, and eligibility criteria needed for the development of tourism in a particular period. Tourism policy as a statement of intent by the government would form the reference point for action and criticism. Any initiative by government in tourism by way of legislation or direct investment is envisaged within the framework of tourism policy. The backdrop of a policy always serves as a guideline for further executive and legislative initiatives. Indian Railways is playing a major role in the promotion of tourism in the country. It is operating a number of luxury trains and 5 toy trains. India is known for its culture and heritage. Indian World Heritage Monuments include national parks, hill trains, cultural and historical monuments. In this episode, we are going to learn about Tourism Policy of India, Statistics of Indian Tourism, Hill Trains of India, Luxury Trains of India, World Heritage Sites in India. Let us study about these aspects one by one. The first aspect is Tourism Policy of India. The first ever tourism policy was announced by the Government of India in November 1982. Then the National Action Plan for Tourism was announced in May 1992. Between these two policy statements, various legislative and executive measures were brought about. In particular, the report of the National Committee on Tourism submitted in 1988 needs special mention. In addition, 2 5-year plans, the 7th and the 8th, provided basic perspective framework for operational initiatives. The Tourism Policy 1982 was more an aggressive statement in marketing than a perspective plan for development. Its main thrust was aimed at presenting India to the foreigners as the ultimate holiday resort. With a view to reach this destination, the following measures were suggested by the policy. To take full advantage of the national heritage in arriving at a popular campaign for attracting tourists. To promote tourist resorts and make India a destination of holiday resorts. To grant the status of an export industry to tourism. To adopt a selective approach to develop few tourist circuits and to invite private sector participation into the sector. The Planning Commission recognized tourism as an industry by June 1982. The National Committee on Tourism was set up in July 1986 by the Planning Commission to prepare a perspective plan for the sector. By September 1987, the central government declared more concessions for the sector, which included tax exemption on foreign exchange earnings from tourism, a drastic reduction in tariff on import of capital goods, and concessional finance at the rate of 1% to 5% per annum. The Tourism Development Finance Corporation was set up in 1987 with the corpus fund of Rs 100 crores. The National Action Plan for Tourism, published in May 1992, charts 7 objectives as central concern of the ministry: socio-economic development of areas, increasing employment opportunities, developing domestic tourism for the budget category, preserving national heritage and environment, development of international tourism, diversification of the tourism product, increase in India's share in world tourism in next 5 years. The provisions of action plan include a discontinuance of subsidies to star hotels, encouraging foreign investment in tourism and setting up of a convention city for developing convention tourism. The action plan envisages the development of special tourism areas on lines of export processing zones. Special central assistance is to be provided for the states to improve the infrastructural facilities at pilgrimage places. National Tourism Policy 2002. The policy document seeks to enhance employment potential within the tourism sector as well as to foster economic integration through developing linkages with other sectors. Broadly, the policy attempts to position tourism as a major engine of economic growth, harness the direct and multiplier effects of tourism for employment generation, economic development and providing impetus to rural tourism. Focus on domestic tourism as a major driver of tourism growth, position India as a global brand to take advantage of the burgeoning global travel trade and the vast untapped potential of India as a destination. Acknowledges the critical role of private sector with government working as a pro-facilitator and catalyst. Create and develop integrated tourism circuits based on India's unique civilization, heritage and culture in partnership with states, private sector and other agencies. Ensure that the tourists to India gets physically invigorated, mentally rejuvenated, culturally enriched, spiritually elevated and feel India from within. For the first time in the history of tourism development in India, the 2002 policy looks into the hospitality dimension of tourism. It is highlighted that a tourist should feel satisfied and return with unforgettable experiences. The policy document takes into consideration 7 key areas that will provide the thrust to tourism development. These are Swagat, Suchana, Suvidha, Suraksha, Sahyog, Samrachana and Safai. The policy highlights the importance of all these areas which may be examined as far as the existing strength is concerned. It is certainly a fact that many of the above areas are neglected. These critical areas must be strengthened to demonstrate India's cultural richness and its tradition of Atiti Devo Bhava or the guest is God. Moving on to the second aspect, Indian tourism statistics. The foreign tourist arrivals in India continued to grow from 1.28 million in 1981 to 1.68 million in 1991. 2.54 million in 2001 to reach 7.68 million in 2014. The number of foreign tourist arrivals FTAs in India during 2014 increased to 7.68 million as compared to 6.97 million in 2013. The growth rate in FTAs during 2014 over 2013 was 10.2% as compared to 5.9% during 2013 over 2012. The double-digit growth of 10.2% in 2014 for India was better than the growth rate of 4.2% for the international tourist arrivals around the world in 2014. India's rank in international tourist arrivals was 47th in 1998 and declined to 54th in 2002. However, since then it has gradually improved to 41st in 2014. India's share in international tourist arrivals increased from 0.39% in 1998 to 0.68% in 2014. The share of India in international tourist arrivals in 2014 was 0.68%. India accounted for 2.91% of tourist arrivals in Asia Pacific region in 2014 with the rank of 12. The top 15 source markets for FTAs in India in 2014 were USA, Bangladesh, UK, Sri Lanka, Russian Federation, Canada, Malaysia, France, Australia, Germany, Japan, China, Singapore, Nepal and Thailand. These 15 countries accounted for about 71.97% of total FTAs in India in 2014. Tourism continues to play an important role as a foreign exchange earner for the country. The share of India in the world tourism receipts has remained between 0.66% and 0.73% during 1998 to 2000. However, it has been increasing since 2002 and has reached 1.62% during 2014. In 2014, foreign exchange earnings (FEE) from tourism were US $20.24 billion as compared to US $18.45 billion in 2013, registering a growth of 9.7%. There has been a continuous increase in domestic tourist visits with the compound annual growth rate CAGR of domestic tourist visits to all states and union territories from 1991 to 2014 being 13.75%. Moving on to the third aspect, that is hill trains. Indian Railways have 5 toy trains offering their service in some hill stations of India. The toy trains operate to cover a short distance, but the amazing journey that takes place from a great height is a memorable experience. As the little train whizzes up into the clear mountain air, one can view the scenic vista of hills and plains below. Meandering on these trains is a thrilling experience as one passes through the breathtaking landscapes of the majestic mountains, tunnels, bridges and lush green valleys embroidered with pine and oak trees. The ticket costs are generally very nominal in case of mountain toy trains. The toy trains and the routes are as follows. Darjeeling toy train, New Jalpaiguri to Darjeeling. The toy train on the Darjeeling Himalayan section represents the engineering skills of the highest order. This 83 km long section connecting Darjeeling with the rail head at Siliguri is one of greatest importance and has been given the status of World Heritage Site. In 1999, UNESCO declared Darjeeling Himalayan Railway as a World Heritage Site. After the Austrian Alps, it is the second railway system in the world to be accorded the World Heritage status. Kangra Valley Toy Train, Pathankot Junction to Joginder Nagar. The Kangra toy train links Pathankot and Joginder Nagar through hills and valleys, offering the travellers beautiful scenic views. The work on this line started in 1926. 3 years later, this 163 km route was open to traffic. The entire route gives beautiful views of Kangra Valley, hills on the sides, streams and the Dauladhar range. It travels past the ruins of the old Kangra fort. Matharan toy train, Neral to Matharan. Matharan railway links Neral, which lies on the Mumbai-Pune route, to the beautiful hill station of Matharan. The route, covered in a time period of 1.5 hours, is full of beautiful scenic views of the region. The Matharan Hill Railway was built between 1901 and 1907 by Abdul Hussain Adamji Peerboy at a cost of Rs 16 lakhs. The railway covers a distance of 20 kilometers connecting Neral to Matharan in the Western Ghats hills near Mumbai. The railway is a 2 feet narrow gauge railway and is being promoted as a future World Heritage Site. Nilgiri toy train, Mettupalayam to Ooty. The Nilgiri mountain railway is 46 kilometers long and runs on a 1000 millimeter gauge railway connecting Mettupalayam to Ooty. The first section of Nilgiri railway up to Kunur was completed in 1899 by the Nilgiri Railway Company and was extended to Ooty in 1903. This Nilgiri rail system is unique as it is the steepest one in Asia. Kalka toy train, Kalka to Simla. This railway line is one of the most popular hill railways in India. The trains running on these tracks are popularly called toy trains. A journey on this railway is a unique experience as one can view the majestic Himalayas through tunnels and over bridges amid the lush green valleys of pine and oak trees. The Kalka Simla railway line was inaugurated by the then British Viceroy Lord Curzon in 1903, covering a distance of 96 kilometers. The toy train passes through 102 tunnels, 969 bridges, 919 curves and 20 railway stations in its entire journey. The Guinness Book on Rail Facts and Feats included Kalka Simla Railway as the greatest narrow gauge engineering achievement in India. This toy train has about 7 coaches that can seat around 200 passengers in a single trip. The train runs through hazardous and adverse weather conditions with temperatures ranging from 0 to 45 degrees Celsius, heavy snowfall and the heavy rainfall of 200 to 250 centimeters. The train travels with a moderate average speed of 25 to 30 kilometers throughout its journey. It has been included as a World Heritage Site since July 2008. Moving on to the fourth aspect, luxury trains of India. The luxury tourist trains operating in India include Palace on Wheels, Deccan Odyssey, Heritage on Wheels, Golden Chariot, etc. Palace on Wheels. This train initially started as a unique holiday concept hauled by steam engine in 1982. Later, a new air-conditioned meter gauge Palace on Wheels on the lines of the old heritage train was launched. The name is derived from its royal background of the coaches. This train has 14 saloons, 2 restaurant-cum-kitchen cars, 1 bar-cum-lounge and 4 service cars. All the saloons are interconnected. The interiors reflect the glamour of the former royal states of Rajasthan. This Maharaja train also offers all types of Indian and continental dishes and comfortable seating and sleeper cabins. The train starts from New Delhi and travels through Jaipur, Jaisalmer, Jodhpur, Agra and back to New Delhi in 7 days. Deccan Odyssey. This luxury train was introduced by a joint venture between Indian Railways and the government of Maharashtra. The train explores the splendor of Konkan coast along with the art, culture and the heritage of Maharashtra during its 8-day sojourn. It can take around 80 passengers on a tour of Goa and northwestern parts of Maharashtra. During its journey, it stops at Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Goa, Pune, Aurangabad and Nasik. Golden Chariot. This is the first and only luxury train of South India. It was started in 2002 as a result of a joint venture between Karnataka government and Indian Railways. The train is named after the famous stone chariot of Hampi, a World Heritage Site in Karnataka. The train covers a journey of 7 nights and 8 days starting from Bangalore, then to Mysore, Kabini, Hassan, Hampi, Badami and Goa. Royal Rajasthan on Wheels. Royal Rajasthan on Wheels is an upgraded version of the famous Palace on Wheels train and was launched in 2009. Compared to Palace on Wheels, this train is more luxurious and the cabins are more spacious. This train offers 7 nights and 8 days itinerary. It starts from New Delhi and travels through Jodhpur, Udaipur, Savai Madhopur, Jaipur, Khajuraho, Varanasi, Agra and back to New Delhi. Maharaja Express. The Maharaja's Express is the latest luxury train of India and was launched in 2010. This train is owned and operated by Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, IRCTC. The train has all the modern amenities and offer comfortable and unforgettable experience to the guests. It has 23 carriages including guest carriage, dining, bar, lounge, generator and store cars. It offers 5 itineraries, that is Heritage of India, Treasures of India, Gems of India, Indian Panorama, Indian Splendor. 2 itineraries are of short-term duration and focused on Golden Triangle, while the other 3 offer week-long tours covering various destinations of North India. Moving on to the last aspect, that is World Heritage Sites in India. India is an active member state on the World Heritage from 1977 and has been working in close cooperation with other international agencies like ICOMOS, International Council on Monuments and Sites, IUCN, International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, and ICROM, International Center for the Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property. There are 32 World Heritage properties in India, out of which 25 are cultural properties and 7 are natural properties. Indian World Heritage monuments include national parks, hillway trains, cultural and historical monuments. Archaeological Survey of India observes World Heritage Week from 19th November every year. The cultural sites in India are Agra Fort, Taj Mahal, Fatehpur Sikri, Humayun's Tomb, Qutub Complex, Red Fort, Jantar Mantar, Sanchi, Khajuraho, Bhimbetka Caves, Mahabodhi Temple, Sun Temple, Konark, Champaner, Pavgad Archaeological Park, Ajanta, Ellora Caves, Elephant Caves, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Churches and Convents of Goa, Pattatkal, Vijayanagara Hampi, Mahabalipuram, Great Living Chola Temples, Mountain Trains of India, Rani Ki Vav. Natural sites include Valley of Flowers and Nanda Devi, Manas National Park, Kaziranga National Park, Keoladeo National Park, Sundarbans National Park, Western Ghats. To conclude, the formulation and implementation of a tourism policy implies identification and development of tourist destinations and related activities in a more systematic manner. The Government of India, realizing the need for a national tourism policy, announced the first tourism policy in 1982. Tourism policy is increasingly necessary for many developing countries like India to utilize tourism resources for local, regional and national development. The Indian railway system can be an enormous asset in the development of tourism and hospitality industry in the country. Thank you.